And so the first two practices we've looked at, this is the ascending current, the descending current, and then you have to put it in action. And so we work a lot in the leadership circle with the practice of authentic, courageous dialogue. As managers and leaders, we spend most of our time in meetings. So how we show up in those conversations is everything. And so we want to talk about the practice of engaging others authentically, especially in conversations that require courage. Now, let me use a story to kind of illustrate this. You remember, if you were here last year, I talked about early learning for me when I got onto all this stuff was I want to lead, I want to be a change agent, and I didn't realize I also wanted everybody to like me. It's a bit of a catch-22. And learning deeply into that and actually facing that fear of rejection or disapproval really freed me up. And so I spent about 5 years working the ascending current and the descending current of that issue for me. And a few years later, I'm starting my own business. And when you're starting your own business, you don't have many clients. You have a couple that like float the boat for you. So I'm with this one client, 80% of my income. And we're having a day with the top 80 managers in this organization. It's a large healthcare system. And I have brought in another consultant to work with me because he had an area of expertise that they needed for this meeting. And he's running the day, and I'm helping. And I make a few comments in the morning, and at the break, the CEO is a pretty rough and tumble character, comes up to me and says, hey, Bob, I was talking with my vice presidents at break, and frankly, they didn't appreciate your comments. I think it's better if you just keep your mouth shut the rest of the day. I didn't know what to do with this, and for a guy who wants everybody to like him, this was a big deal. So I go back to my seat, I sit down, I'm licking my wounds, and I was quiet for most of the rest of the day. Until a woman stands up in the back. This is synchronicity at work, right? A woman stands up in the back and she says, I don't think it's safe to say what you really think in this room. I feel like the senior managers talk about what you've said after the meeting, and they make decisions that affect your credibility in the group and your future in this organization. You could have heard a pin drop, except I'm in a moment. What am I going to do with this? Right? I've been told the CEO is sitting right across the table from me, right? While I'm thinking that through, the group is quickly sweeping the issue under the rug. Doesn't happen here, not an issue, not a problem. Let's move on. And I'm doing this Dr. Strangelove thing, like I want to raise my hand, but don't want to raise my hand. But while I'm doing that, I'm actually working the ascending current. Okay. What do I want to stand for? What's my vision of a great consulting in this moment? And what's the story I always tell myself when I get in this place? I'm so familiar with it now. Do I still want to take it seriously in this moment? So I raise my hand, I say, what you said happened to me today. I'm not going to mention any names. But a person in senior leadership came up to me and told me it was probably better off I kept my mouth shut the rest of the day. No way! You could hear an audible gasp in the group, and all this thing. And I said, it did happen here. It happened to me today. They went on to have an hour-and-a-half conversation, and as people left the room, they said that was the best conversation we've ever had as a management team. Now, I'm off to the side of the room trying to pack up my stuff and get out of there before I have to make eye contact with the CEO. But I catch myself in the act. This is the practice, right? Ascending current, descending current. How do I want to show up? Okay, I'm in it again. Walk over to the CEO. I say, what did you think about what I said? He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, you were the one who came up to me and told me probably better off I keep my mouth shut. He goes, you were talking about me? And I wanted to run. I wanted to go, no, not really, never mind. Caught myself in that moment and literally just looked at him. I said, yeah, I was talking about you. He goes, well, I was just looking out for your welfare. You know, I need what you bring to this organization. I didn't want you to fall on your sword. I want you to live to fight another day here. I said, I get that. I really hear that you were looking out for my welfare. However, here's what I want you to get. In that moment, with me, you were a conduit for all the caution and mistrust that just got surfaced in the room. Now, he's glaring at me, and I'm not sure if this isn't the end of my consulting engagement or what, but then he steps back, he says, that's really helpful. I want more of that. That's what I pay you for. When's our next meeting? It's a crapshoot. How do you want to show up? And you're in it every day. And the basic notion is the whole culture is going on in the room all the time. The lack of clarity, the vision and so on, authenticity or lack thereof, it's all happening in the moment. To move the culture, to move it forward is to change the moment. What we do or say in those moments defines our future. And there's no safe way to be in them. It comes down to what's worth the risk, which is the ascending current, and what's the story I always tell myself here. And then you show up clear, you show up clean, you show up just, yeah, I was talking about you. No edge, no judgment, let's have a conversation. Hard to do, hard-earned.